All right, guys. So, welcome to the second episode of Titans Tuesday. I'm gonna go now that I have a chance to calm down from the win. I'm gonna go through and pick up a few storylines that I've read after the wins and basically what's going around the Twitterverse, things like that I've kind of picked up and I wanted to mention a little bit or bring more into the light. Don't get me wrong. I know some Eagles fans, and actually a pretty close friend of mine. He's an Eagles fan, and he gave me a call after the game and basically said it was a good game, that the Titans deserved to win the game. There was nothing. He was very cordial about it. They were very civil. Just typical. We talked about the game, went back and forth a little bit, but nothing too bad. I know there's a few other YouTubers that are pretty civil, like I think his name Desert Eagle. He was pretty civil towards me. I talked to him a little bit, and I also play basketball with a guy who's a pretty big Eagles fan, and he was the same. But so going, Twitter, social media, but going through, and I see a lot of the narrative of we're the champs, so we're gonna get everyone's best. I think that is a load of crap. You were up 17-3. The Titans' offense was struggling the whole entire first half. Yeah, Mariota came out and went 14 for 14 to bring us back in the game, but you didn't get anywhere near what the best of the Titans should be. When the Titans are clicking on all cylinders, we should have a good run game. The passing game should really be for a while, I don't know what it's going to look like under LaFleur because it's hard. I don't understand how anyone can say that they got our best when this is the first game like Mariota's been healthy. I don't even know how healthy he really is. It still looks like he had a little problem throwing the ball early in the game. Once he got comfortable, it started to come out a little bit more smoothly. But they didn't get anywhere at best. It wasn't even close to what the Titans are capable of. So that was just something that's really been nagging at me. I get it. It's a cliche to tell yourself when you lose to a team that you shouldn't. A lot of people saying, calls, refs, they gave him the game, blah, 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 blah. These are the same people that said there's no way in hell that we're going to lose to the Titans. If you're that great of a team, you shouldn't even been that close. If you're that great, you shouldn't be that close. Now, like I said, the guys I mentioned before that were respectful, I don't have anything bad to say about them, but, I am a Titans fan living in New England. I deal with Patriots fans on a daily basis. I'm always floored when Patriots fans complain about refs. It just drives me nuts because, as an unbiased, the Titans with the Patriots, if I'm lucky, once a year, usually sometimes once every 2 years, depending on where they seed and everything. But when they complain that they don't get a call, I just shake my head and I think of the hits that Mariota takes, or in a lesser fact, Cam Newton takes, when just because he's a bigger quarterback, or what did the ref say to Cam Newton? You're not old enough to get that call. That's BS, man. You got to make the call. So just the Eagles fans that are using the refs, using the refs saying, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. We've lost our best offensive player. I would still say Delanie Walker is our best offensive player. We've won the last 2 games. They've not been pretty, but we're winning. There's no excuse to not go out there. That's a winnable game. I don't think any Titans fan thought that there's no way the Eagles are coming in here and winning. This year more than anything, it's any given Sunday. So the narrative should be, you go in there and you take the win. You don't expect it to be handed to you. And that's what the Titans did. The Titans went in and took that win. You didn't shut the door in our face. It didn't happen. So just stop with all the cliches, refs, we got the best of them next time. And I'm tired of it. Have fun being 3-1. It's week 4. You know what? You guys have been around for 80 years and this is your first Super Bowl championship. And congratulations, that's a feat. The Titans don't have one. The Titans have been around 20 years. Before that, the Oilers, they actually have an AFC championship back in the 1960. That's before the Super Bowl era, but it's still a championship. So, whatever. The Titans fans, it should no way, it hasn't. I've seen Titans fans giving it back to them and what have you. But, can we just lose the cliches? Yeah, you were the champions last year. Yeah, everyone picked you to be better than us. But guess what? You lost. Take the loss. You guys have the Vikings next week. You should be more focused on them. So, all right, I'd like to get more into the actual game. A few players I really like after watching the highlights again and just really diving into this. Brett Kern. I mean that tackle, that was a game-saving tackle right there to stop that guy, to stop him on the return. Granted, it wasn't the greatest form, but I don't care how you get it done, Brett. Get it done, and he did, and he got the tackle, and we were able to hold them to just the field goal, and that the rest is history. And let's be honest, Kern also had a coffin corner kick that put him on the 3-yard line. Kern is one of the best punters in the league. And I know people don't brag about their punters, but I mean, there's some games in recent, well, probably when I was in college, I remember watching the San Diego, I don't remember the punter at the time, but the San Diego Chargers punter single-handedly beat the Colts. He kept them inside their own 5 the whole time. It was unbelievable to watch the guy work. I wish I could remember his name at the time, but you know what? He's an important part, and we have one of the better punters in the league. So, a guy that I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are talking about him. I'm sure maybe I haven't dove into this enough. But, I mean, Dion Lewis, the stat sheet hasn't, you're not singing your praises. If you have him on fantasy football or nothing, I'm sure you're probably more upset than anything. But the things he's able to do, I'm amazed at every single week. I mean, there's several plays where he should be tackled for a loss. He manages to get back to the line of scrimmage. And I know that sounds redundantly, it's 0, but it's huge. I mean, if you're starting, 2nd and 14 is a lot different than 2nd and 10. I mean, he had a play where he should have been a 4-yard gain maybe. And he picks up, I think, 12, 13. And he's consistently doing this. He's consistently making people miss. He's doing all the right things. He's got, Mariota and him, he has trust. He has the trust to catch that ball. I mean, to think about it, on that 4th and 2 play where he picked up the 17 yards to get you in there, you have to have a lot of faith that this guy isn't going to just drop that ball. And Mariota has to have that trust. It was a little bit of a lob because it was kind of a cut through. But you have to have faith in this guy, and he's only been there a year. And it seems like he and Mariota have kind of connected on this. And, Dion Lewis is I sang Derrick Henry's praises last year. I'm kind of disappointed, but then again, it's a lot different. I'm trying not to be too hard. I'm trying to manage expectations a little better because Derrick Henry hasn't really had a great game to go against. So you got that weird week 1 game, and you know what? Hats off to the Dolphins. I'm not going to sit there and say we should have done this, we should have done that. I just got done saying that the Eagles fans been doing it, and it's driving me crazy. But Derrick Henry, that week 1 game, it was really hard to get in any sort of rhythm. He had that long run, it was called back. And then you have the Texans game where Blaine Gabbert's starting. Everyone and their mom knows that we're going to run the ball. So it was just a massively stacked box the entire day. Hard to run when you got 9-10 guys in the box constantly. And that's exactly what happened. It's the same thing when you go and you look at the Jaguars. They were getting hit. I mean, one thing about Henry, as big as he is, he has a hard. After he gets going, he's great, but he needs those 2-3 steps to get going. And the Jaguars just kept hitting him in the backfield, and he couldn't get going, and it was very difficult for him. So then all of a sudden last week, the Eagles have I think it's a top 4 rushing defense. That front that they have is no joke. So of course it's going to be tough for him to get going. So I really hope that next week, I mean, we're playing the Bills. I'm hoping that they'll be able to get, between Dion and Derrick Henry, I'd like to see at least 130 yards rushing. I think they're very capable of it. It's another week for Jack Conklin to get better integrated into the offense and, maybe take a little bit of pressure off Mariota. I'm willing to bet that his hand still isn't 100%. So then my next guy I want to really target on is Jayon Brown. Wesley Woodyard went out early. Jayon Brown had to come in, and he was everywhere. Jayon Brown is a very fast linebacker. He is, I don't know his exact stat line. I just know that he came up with the stops that we needed. He was able to fill in for Wesley Woodyard, who I think is one of our best defensive players. He probably is the best leader we have on defense outside of maybe Bayard. But I really hope that it's a short-term thing. But Jayon Brown came in and filled the shoes rather nicely. I mean, this is his second year. Rashad Evans, I actually saw some footage on things that he did, and he didn't look too bad. I think he's still getting spun up to the speed. There was one where he took on an offensive guard, and as a linebacker, and Evans isn't huge, he was able to grab him and the lineman had a tough time keeping him back. And usually you see these linemen love to tee off on these linebackers, but I think Evans actually got him to the ground. So, I mean, hats off to those two. They really had to fill the spot with Woodyard down and out. And, I mean, there still hasn't come out and said. I think they said they expect him to play next week, but I'm not really sure. I mean, the safety position is something that's a little concerning. Kenny Vaccaro, his elbow is dislocated. If you haven't seen the picture, he calmly is walking off the field, and you can clearly see his elbow is completely past where it should be in socket. It is kind of disgusting when you look at it, and he's walking off completely calm. Whatever. But they're saying 3 to 5 weeks for him. The rumors are that the Titans are not going to pursue anybody else. They're going to use Lewis, Kendrick Lewis and Cruikshank, Dane there, to fill in. I mean, the Titans are thin at safety. If we lose one more, it's going to be bad. I mean, luckily, Bayard, I think Bayard's good enough to really, really carry his counterpart. But, if anyone else goes down, it's going to be really, really tough sledding. So, anyway, let's go ahead and move on to this last part here. The Titans aren't going to get any respect. They're a small market team. I think I mentioned this last week on the other one. I really think that the sports media kind of has a bias against them because they know that they can bash the Titans, and there's really no huge media uproar. Like the fan base isn't large enough to really cause any problems. But if they go and they bash the Eagles or the Patriots or even the Chiefs or the Steelers, they have a big enough fan base where, I think people are afraid that they might come after them, I guess. This whole mob Twitter mentality, they'll just come after them. I personally think the Titans do better as underdogs. I mean, I've been a Titans fan for a long time. I did the math out the other day. It's been 22 years. And we've always kind of been the underdog, and we've always played better as the underdog, in my opinion. But this Bills game coming up, it just smells like a trap game. I don't know why. It smells like a trap game. It's a trap. It's a trap. I don't know what it is about this. The Bills are coming off a shutout. They still have a rookie quarterback that people don't really know about. In my head, all I could picture is the Deshaun Watson game last year. Josh Allen is their leading rusher. He is athletic. I really hope that this whole, like I said, the Titans are clamoring for media attention. I'm really hoping that the whole power rankings and still not a lot of people talking about them too much. Really hoping that's keeping them focused on really taking this out on the Bills. Because all I can think of is that damn Texans game last year when Deshaun Watson just lit us up. When we stopped the pass, he'd run it. When we try to get him to run, he'd pass it. In my head, I'm praying to God that, Vrabel or, maybe this new mentality, the for the boys mentality, and, like I said, the disrespectful media will really keep them in focus to try to not take the Bills lightly. They really need to go out here and beat the Bills by 30 points. If they really want to be taken seriously, what really greatly improves your playoffs odds? Going from 3-1 to 4-1. 3-1, your odds are 64%. I think 4-1, they're close to 70. So that's over. Just think about that. The Titans really just need to take the next team seriously. Use that the lack of media attention and really put it towards this. Take it out on the Bills. You know, the Bills are like I said, I think they're a hot and cold team. It's hard to really tell what they have with, you know, they're trying to get this rookie quarterback going. They don't really have any good wide receivers. I mean, Zay Jones, but I mean, who else are you really worried about over there? I mean, I think McCoy's still hurt, but I just really, really hope that it's not what it happens to be. So, obviously, I think I don't really want to get into the whole. I guess we can, but you know, Corey Davis, Marcus Mariota, you know, Mike Vrabel, Matt LaFleur, Dean Pease. Like, I think a lot of what's coming out of this, everyone's saying, you know, Vrabel went for it. LaFleur had the great call. Dean Pease has quietly masterminded the 6th best scoring defense in the league right now. If you watch some of the how he's scheming things, some of his rushes, I mean, they look like they're blitzes, but he's still only rushing 5 guys. But the 5 guys, he is manipulating their offensive line to step left, like, so they can't possibly just take another, like, he's overloading the line just perfectly. Strategically, he is doing everything absolutely correct. And it's really, really nice to watch, because after watching Dick LeBeau, and, you know, like, Dick LeBeau's an icon, he's a Hall of Famer, he's, you know, he's coached in the league, you know, all this stuff, but I just thought I was just tired of. I feel like the offenses had figured out Dick LeBeau's offense. I mean, he created the offense, but it was so painful to watch the Titans just consistently give up these, like, it's, you know, you play so much zone all the time. It's so maddening to watch, you know, these experienced wide receivers just find the soft part in the zone, and every time I felt like I'm screaming to myself, he's wide open. How is no one seeing him? Well, when you can figure out immediately it's a zone, the wide receivers are smart enough. They know where the soft parts in the zone are, and that's exactly where they go. And last year, I think we had trouble at times finding pressure, but either or, I really think Dean Pease has just really turned this defense even better. I mean, I'm still a little concerned with Butler. I think he was targeted 7 times for 7 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. That is a horrible stat line. But I've got confidence that they're going to get better. They're going to make the necessary changes to tighten it down a little bit more. And I really think that they're headed in the right direction. I don't think a lot of people expected us to be 3-1, especially I think everyone had us winning the Dolphins game and then losing the next 3. So, I mean, we just got to keep it going. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like, follow, subscribe. Trying to do this much content as I can get out. Be on the lookout for the next video. Thanks.